Hello, friends. Well, I finally got caught up enough on my office work that I did a task that I'd been putting off for a while. Had some sorting out to do. In particular, there was one stack where whenever I would read a magazine article or get something in the mail that I thought might be useful to consider purchasing later, or maybe it was something that might make a good sermon illustration, or maybe a good resource, I stuck it all in this one stack. And that stack had kind of gotten a little out of hand, and it was time to go through it. It was sort of interesting as I was going through it that there were some things I wasn't sure why on earth I'd ever put in the stack to potentially save in the first place. And then I found other things that were extremely helpful and useful. Wish I would have remembered where they were earlier. And then some things I made sure to put now in a way that I could, in a place that I could find it more easily when I need it in the future. You know, God does some sorting out too. We don't like to think of it that way, but He does. I'm not talking about judgment, about who's going to be saved and who's not. We understand from the Scripture that once we come into that saving relationship with Jesus, that we're not having to worry about that on a day-by-day basis. That judgment's taken place. But God sorts out in a different way. In 2 Chronicles 16 it says that the eyes of the Lord roam to and fro over the whole earth, seeking a heart that's fully devoted to Him so that He might fully support Him. God's eyes are sorting out and looking for someone whose heart is completely devoted to Him. Wow. What's that mean? One of the first things I'd say is it doesn't mean that we'd have to be perfect. David was known to be a man after God's own heart, but was far, far from perfect. But few could doubt that his heart was fully devoted to God. His passion for God was evident through the Psalms. He clearly every day wanted what God wanted, and God's presence was continually on his mind. So what is it then? I guess it's that place where it's just that we want God more than anything. Our soul thirsts for Him, that we want to be closer to God. And therein is that next part. That Scripture says that when God finds that heart that's fully devoted to Him, He strengthens him. When God does the sorting out, what He's looking for is a soul that's really ready to grow. And then God lifts that soul up. There are rewards here on this earth for obedience and for serving God. And those rewards aren't necessarily financial, but just the peace of knowing that God's working in us, and that extra power that we'll experience as God's working in our lives. You know, I'm not sure from day to day sometimes whether my heart's fully devoted or not. I know I want it to be. And maybe part of the prayer here is that God would continually give us a heart transplant, and that so that we would have a heart that would seek Him. And the eyes of the Lord go to and fro among the whole earth, seeking that heart that's fully devoted to Him, that He might fully support Him. May God bless you.